the glitches all the time. We have with us today Mr. Imran Farooq, who's a well-known immigration consultant and business tycoon in the UAE. He's the group CEO of Samana Group of Companies, and 𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐢𝐳𝐞𝐢𝐳 Associates Immigration Services is a part of the Samana Group of Companies. 𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐢𝐳𝐞𝐢𝐳 happens to be the largest immigration service provider in the Middle East, North Africa, Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh. He's a registered member of the Immigration Consultants of Canada Regulatory Council, and he successfully established 𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐢𝐳𝐞𝐢𝐳 Associates Immigration Services in promoting and representing investors for application in citizenship by investment programs and residency programs in Europe, Australia, Canada, and US. We're also honored to have with us His Excellency Emmanuel Nanthan. His Excellency was appointed as the head of Citizenship by Investment Unit in February 2015, leading the unit carrying out Citizenship by Investment Program. His Excellency is also the Ambassador at Large of the Office of Honorable Prime Minister, dealing with critical diplomatic affairs. He's also an enthusiastic and active sports person and is the President of Dominica and Windward Islands Cricket. He's the former Vice President of West Indies Cricket Board and the Director of United States Cricket Board. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not take much time. I would now like Mr. Emmanuel Nanthan to take over the stage, and he will enlighten us about the program.
Good morning to you. Good evening to you and all our participants out in the UAE and those from Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. It is my pleasure speaking with you again. I miss Dubai. I haven't been to Dubai in I think it's 3 or 4 months now. I haven't been to Dubai, and that is very, very, very rare. So I miss you guys out there, and I wish you well. Sometimes with the COVID situation, I hope and my wish that is that you stay safe, you stay inside. The disease can move itself, we have to move it. So, if we limit our movements, then we limit the movements of the disease of contacting it and having our families and loved ones affected. It is my distinct pleasure to be with you once again. And I really want to wish you a pleasant evening. Let us look forward to working together and do the best that we can. Thank you and welcome. Would you like me to go right into my delivery? I could do that.
Yeah, I think so. People would like to hear from you. We'll carry it with you. So
okay.
You can tell us about Dominica.
Okay. Thank you very much for those of you who are here. Some of you I know, we have known for a while, and it's my pleasure being with you once again. Dominica's Citizenship by Investment Program has been around for the last 27 years. We are one of the most experienced programs in the world. As mentioned, I took over the reins of the unit at the beginning of 2015, and for the 5 years I've been there, there have been 3 assessments of the world program, and we have been 3 times successively announced as the #1 program in the world by the Financial Times of London. A program, distinct place on us that we welcome and we feel very proud of. We have done that because of the efforts and work of our agents and what they do in ensuring that they refer good clients to us, so we could do our checks easily and do our processing easily. We have been ranked the #1 program in the world for a few basic reasons. One is the fact that we are a very experienced for 27 years. The number of our clients have seen themselves been citizens of Dominica. They have moved around the world easily. They have passed on in some instances to children, and children. As once you're Dominican, any child you have after becoming a citizen would themselves qualify to be a citizen as well. Or you could also add your dependents onto the program. So we have had very record and rapport with our citizens, and they continue to expand. In Dominica, we have made changes to our program to adapt and to ensure that we do what you, our investors and clients, demand or require. Our investors are VIP clients. We treat you as VIP. You have lived working hard and earn the respect that you have because of your hard work and commitment. We respect that as a unit, we respect that as a country. And we actually congratulate you on a job well done. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being interested in the program that is experienced. Thank you for being interested in the program that's there for the last 27 years and counting. We appreciate that. We invite you to join us in Dominica and work with us. Experience is one of the many reasons why the Financial Times of London ranked us as the best program in the world. But it is not the only reason. Our processing time for our citizenship has been excellent. We process our application within a 3 months time frame that we give you, and generally speaking, we're able to keep to that. Sometimes there may be a reason or two why some clients might be more difficult to identify and verify the facts that they give us, the information that they give us on the forms, and it may take slightly longer, but generally speaking, we fall well within the bracket that we give you, that is that of 3 months. So processing is another very key factor of our program. Another reason, of course, is that of due diligence. Although we process on time, we don't do shortcuts, and we don't try and accept you if we haven't dot the I's and cross the T's. Our due diligence must be done at all times. We have a four-pronged approach in due diligence. That is, we don't accept applicants directly. You can't apply to us directly. You must go through an approved agent. That agent, we have done our background check on them. We're satisfied on all our agents. So we know our agents. Our agents, in turn, must know you. Know your client is a normal part of everyday financial transaction business wherever you are in the world. That is why we don't accept payment directly, because how would we know you? You're out in Islamabad or out in Lahore. I am here in Dominica. Fine. I travel a lot, yes, but I need somebody to know you a little bit more intimately, and that's why our agents are supposed to know you. They must be able to know your clients. And they must check on every applicant that they send, knowing that that person is not on some world check somewhere. That is our first line of defense in due diligence. When the forms are sent in, my staff who are trained in due diligence and anti-money laundering, etc., would go through to ensure that everything is in place. That is another form of DD done for us. But also, we share certain aspects of the file with our intelligence unit of our police force. Once that is done, they themselves would run those names with our regional security system, and we run those names with different partners, be it the US, UK, Canada, Europe, etc., to ensure that the people who are applying are not being monitored by global intelligence for mainly terrorism or security concerns or financial concerns. Those we must clear on every applicant. We don't want to allow somebody a passport to be a citizen of Dominica, and they are found that we're putting a bomb somewhere tomorrow or next year. That is totally unacceptable. Neither do we want to grant somebody a passport to move around the world, and that person is laundering monies here, there, and everywhere, or being traced and tracked and arrested for our passport for money laundering. That is totally unacceptable. So we must ensure that those are cleared and vetted at all times. Also, we send the names and the complete package to one of our due diligence firms. We use the top due diligence firms in the world that work for the largest banks and financial institutions worldwide. We send to one of four, and they are expected to do thorough checks on you. The checks would include what the people in your community think about you. The schools that you went to, people who went to school with you, how do they feel about you? People in the sector that you work, how do they feel about you? We want to ensure that the people who we allow in citizenship are not corrupt in any way, that they're not laundering money, that they're not security threats. So our enhanced due diligence would give us background checks on how people in your area think about you, the schools that you went to, verify your documents, etc. They will also give us pictures of your offices and of your home where you live, because we do all our background check to ensure that we know we have an intimate knowledge of who we accept. Once that is done, the report comes back to our staff. We would vet the report, and then it would come to me for recommending or declining your application. By and large, the applicants we get are always good, because our agents know our program and they know how we work. So they would tell us when they accept you. Normally, when they say that they accept you, tell you you're good, then by and large, you're generally good. 95% of our clients get accepted because our agents have only a license for only 1 year. If our agents send me too many bad applications, we will deny them and not decline them, or will not renew their license for the next year. So they have to do thorough checks on you before they send it to us. So don't shy away. We're just explaining to you the checks that we do to ensure that people who are applying to the program like you are people who are deserving of being considered for citizenship. So that's where we are. That's who we are. Our price range is also very good. There are two ways in which you could apply for citizenship under our program. One would be $100,000 for a single applicant, and that money would be given directly to the government. The government would use the money for whatever government desires. It could be education, it could be for infrastructure development, it could be for housing, it could be for school or health center repairs or construction, or whatever it is of government purposes. It would be $100,000 for a single applicant, $150,000 for a husband and wife, and $175,000 for a husband and wife to 4 children for any other dependent. A dependent, I'll come to the dependent later, but the other way could be through a real estate. Today I'm here promoting an 𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐢𝐳𝐞𝐢𝐳 Resort. An 𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐢𝐳𝐞𝐢𝐳 Resort is a 5-star hotel being built under the Marriott Autograph Collection, which is this, Marriott is the world's largest hotel chain. Marriott have more hotels than anywhere else. You know Marriott, you know how they operate. That is an investment that you know, an investment that you can trust. So the government allows you to invest in a project like Marriott that you know. And in so doing, you are allowed the privilege of being given citizenship for Dominica. Why would the government do such a thing? The government of Dominica, in our development goal, aims, plan, and strategy, we have identified that we want to sell our country as a high-end tourism country. Dominica is the nature island of the world. Dominica is the nature island of the Caribbean. In Dominica, we have more people per capita who live 100 years and older. We believe that we live in a tranquil, peaceful, lovely nature island that we want to share and ask you to invest in. Invest in areas that we believe are beneficial to our country. So in Dominica, we have identified hotel development, 5-star hotel development, as part of our global strategy on our development goals. We are building the world's first climate resilient country, and as such, that is part of our strategy development for Dominica. So you could invest in the 𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐢𝐳𝐞𝐢𝐳 Resort, Marriott Autograph Collection, become a citizen of Dominica. That investment, the minimum is behind here, $220,000 US. That investment remains your investment. It's a private investment. In the future, you could sell that investment. In other words, all we say, you could invest in a world-class project being built in Dominica, become citizen of Dominica, and you could sell your investment, but you must hold it for a minimum of 3 years. Or if you investment, the person who you sell to would themselves qualify to be a citizen of Dominica. Once they go through the due diligence test and they pass through and they are vetted as such. You must hold your investment for a minimum of 3 years or 5 years. It depends if you want a person to become a citizen of Dominica or not, and move on. You invest in a product and a project that you know, you become a citizen of Dominica, but at the same time, you are providing your family with a citizenship of Dominica as well. And that investment goes on to your family, your children, your children, children. In other words, it's passed on from generation to generation. So you're investing in a well-known hotel project. You could sell and recoup your investment after 3 or 5 years, but you provide your family with the kind of incentive of being a citizen of Dominica, get a passport from Dominica and travel around the world. A few years ago, in Dominica, we could travel with our passports to about 120 countries. Today, you could travel to up to 140 countries with a Dominican passport, visa-free. You could travel to 140 passports visa-free with a Dominican passport. In recent time, we added Brazil to those countries that we do not require a visa to travel. We added Russia. We added Azerbaijan in the last few months. We have also signed with the government of China visa-free travel for all Dominicans to China. That agreement has been signed by the government of Dominica. It has been signed by the government of China. So it has already been signed by both countries. The effective date will be announced at a time very soon, in the very near future, most likely within a few days or weeks, when it will be implemented. But the agreements have been signed by both countries. So we're continuing to allow Dominican citizens to travel the world over. It would include traveling to UK, traveling to Europe, traveling to most of Latin America, traveling to Hong Kong, very soon traveling to China, Brazil, and we are currently discussing with 5 other countries for similar arrangements. That is the benefit and the power of the Dominican passport. Because of the ability to move visa-free to so many countries around the world, that's another reason why we were ranked as one of the best programs in the world. So we spoke of our experience, our longevity, we spoke of our processing time, we spoke of visa-free access, and we spoke of our due diligence as being the major factors for investment. My dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, in Dominica, we believe that the family dictates who we are as a country and as a people. We have changed our programs over the years to reflect the needs and desires of our investors. I've been so directed and advised by our agents. In the last 2 weeks, our government made a number of changes again to our program. Based on advice given to us by our highly appreciated agents who work in the industry and meet you, the clients, one-on-one, day by day, month-on-month. We have changed the program to make it more welcoming to our families, because families are important to who we are. Families, as I said, speaks of who we are as a country. Today, under our program, you can now add your siblings. You could add your brother or your sister. Once they are under 25 years of age, they are unmarried and have no children. For the addition of your siblings, if a sibling is a minor that is under 18 years of age, it will be $25,000. For a sibling who is a senior, an adult that is 25 years old, it would be $50,000. Once they can show that they're substantially dependent on you as their sponsor. Before, you could add your parents and grandparents with age limitations. We have removed the age limitations, so today you could add your parents and grandparents, regardless of their age. At one stage for the last how many years, you could add your spouse, and your spouse can still be added. Before you added your spouse for $75,000. Today we say no, you could add your spouse for $50,000. We felt it was a bit discriminatory to make the amount of addition of spouse so expensive. You could add your brother, your sister, your child, your parents, grandparents, etc. We felt we could reduce the amount for adding spouse, and as such, now to add spouse, it would be $50,000. If you apply as a citizen today, the fees that you apply for are stipulated. If you add your families within a year of you becoming a citizen of Dominica, the fees would be the same as if you had included them on application. If you do it for more than a year, there will be an extra $25,000 addition in the fees if you add them a year or more after you become a citizen of Dominica. So that's where we are. That's how we are. We know where we are as a country. We know that we're living now through the COVID season. I would like to report to you that Dominica has done very well in the management of COVID. In fact, the World Health Organization, I think, ran an article about a few weeks ago indicating the parts of the globe that have treated with the COVID crisis best. And for Latin America, for the Americas, including North, Central, South America, and the Caribbean, Dominica was chosen as the #1 country who took care of our COVID problem and dealt with it very easily. We had 19 cases, most of which were imported from the UK or the USA. We have successfully treated Every single case, they have all tested negative after treatment, and they have been sent home. We haven't had a single new case for more than 2 months. It's over 60 years now. We haven't had any new cases in Dominica. During the crisis, we had severe restricted lockdowns, curfew, and our citizens by and large complied and stayed at home so that we could not move the disease. We understood that the disease can move on its own. People have to move the disease. As such, we were able to stay home, stay safe, put our country under lockdown, and treat our people well, and send them home. Today, as I mentioned, we have been COVID-free. We're not wood. 2 months, went on 3 months. We're hoping that it stays the same. We hope that you and your families can stay safe. As we go through this new COVID crisis, we have now reopened our country. So we're working now easily from all over. Our airports are open and people are coming in. People are coming into Dominica, but there's a process, a protocol that has been established for people coming home. You have to fill in a form online that the ministry has to respond to before you can come in. And you must present a valid COVID test taken within 72 hours of you landing in Dominica. When you get to Dominica, we will test you, test your temperature. If you are sick, you will be sent into isolation immediately and taken care of and treated. So far, again, knock wood, we have had nobody coming in with the disease so far. So we continue to remain safe and sound. We as a government, we as a country, we as a program have been able to operate during the COVID crisis because over a few years ago, we, in anticipation of any unseen circumstance, went digital in terms of our system. Our applications are done online. Your agents submit all your files to our portal, which is done online. And once that is done, I can access your file and deal with it from home, or I could deal with it from my office, or from Dubai, or Pakistan, or London, or China. Once I have internet, I could go on my computer and access the files and deal with it. So we have been able to do that. So during the COVID crisis, our processes were not slowed down, except when you, the applicants or the agents, could not provide us with documentation because the places where you have to get them from were not open at the time. We continue to serve you. We continue to respond to your needs. We continue to respond to your advice. We continue to try to make things better for you. Our Prime Minister recently announced that we're going to go to biometric passports. And very soon, within the next few months, we will be issuing biometric passports to all our citizens. Very soon, we will be issuing new certificate of naturalization with added security features. We believe that what you need, what you require, is what we're here to do. And we transform and change our program to improve and ensure that at all times your needs are what we are there for. But we do it once it does not compromise our process, once it does not compromise our program. We're not interested in bringing in as many clients. We're interested in dealing with good clients, serious clients, clients who have credibility and clients who are reliable. Once we give you the privilege to be a citizen of Dominica, then we believe that that privilege must be respected in every way. And you, as new citizens of Dominica, should ensure that you do all what is in your power to uplift and uphold the good name of our country, Dominica. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking to you is important to me. Speaking to you has always been an important part of our program. Tonight, I would like to listen to your questions as well. Listen to your suggestions and your recommendations. And very soon, I will ask you for me to take your questions and your recommendations. But I want to thank you for taking time off to be here with us. I want to thank you for being responsible citizens of United Arab Emirates, or Bangladesh, or Sri Lanka, or Pakistan, wherever you are. I want to thank you and congratulate you for a job well done in taking care of yourself and ensuring that you continue to work and continue to build your companies and take care of your families. The option of citizenship in Dominica is an addition, a gift that you could give to your children and your families that will make them and improve the qualities of life, make it better. I thank you for considering Dominica. I thank you for joining us here this evening, and I wish you well. Thank you, and I will take your questions and suggestions and concerns after. Thank you, and good evening.
Thank you, His Excellency. We've been getting a lot of questions, and I've been taking down as many questions as I can. But before we move on to the question and answer session, I would also like, I've already told you about Mr. Imran Farooq. He's also with us. He's been patiently listening to us. He would enlighten us a bit about the program, and then we'll start with the question and answer session. We'll try to take as many questions as we can, but we've got a lot of questions, so it may not be possible to answer all. For questions that cannot be answered, ladies and gentlemen, you can leave your contact details. We'll have somebody from us to give you a call, send you an email, and answer all of your questions. Mr. Farooq, you're on now. Thank you.
Thank you, Jehan. Thank you, His Excellency, for a detailed presentation. And the beauty is, whenever you do presentation, you give it to your heart and soul. So thanks again. It's just a shame that this time we're doing a presentation without you, without a chance for dine to go out for lunches and dinners. But I think we'll keep it for next time. And thank you for the detailed session. Jehan, I think I'll keep it very short so we can jump to Q&A. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for technical glitch. We had some startup issues, so we lost about 10 minutes there. So I will be just telling you about the fact that AAA is not only a registered marketing agent. We are also a full-fledged processing agent. So from end to end, from starting your application from Dubai, UAE, or wherever, all the way processing your application in Dominica, it's our staff who's going to coordinate and who's going to coordinate with the Citizenship by Investment unit at His Excellency's unit. So, that's something which I want to highlight. Dominica is one of the oldest program and is in business since 1989. A lot of people ask me questions: what is a guarantee? What's an assurance? If they don't lose the visa-free access from 132 countries to whatever? And I ask them one question: is that in last 30 odd years, is this country lost any visa waiver or gained? The answer is the country has gained about 40 odd visa waiver. In last 3 years, there is Brazil, Argentina, Russia added, and China agreement is signed, which has to be enforced. So that's another thing which you need to take into consideration. Very briefly about AAA, we're the largest immigration player. We have we have highly skilled manpower who are in this business. We bring 2.5 decades of experience to you. So we have dealt with 10,000 plus cases. So lots of time people say my case is very unique. Yes, every application is very personal, very unique, but chances are our team has dealt with hundreds of such cases. So feel free to be very transparent with your application, whatever the issue may be, whether it's a family size, whether it's children above 18, whether it's an issue in the family, whether it's a liquidity of funds, which you believe that could be a problem in your application. Feel free to discuss. We have dealt with hundreds of such cases. So accumulative, we bring on the table 10,000 plus experience. We have the state-of-the-art ERP solution that keeps us going, because His Excellency, the time there is what, 11ish, 12ish in the afternoon. So yeah. So by the time the Caribbean,
quarter to 12.
Quarter to 12, yeah. So by the time Caribbean comes in play, it's already 4ish, 5ish here, and there is a big time lapse. But we have overcome that with our ERP system. And credit goes to His Excellency team. Also, 3 years back, he implemented an agents portal where we could feed and interact with all the application online. And that's the reason, that's how the Dominica jurisdiction was ready for pandemic also. And that's how the process has not been hurt. So besides being the largest immigration operator, we speak several languages, be it Arabic, be it Russian, be it Persian, be it English, Hindi. We speak several languages. So feel free to contact us. Feel free to ask your native speaker. We will have a solution for that. Jahan, let's straight away go to the Q&A session.
Thank you, Mr. Farooq. Yes, let's do that. I think I will be asking questions as per what I've been asked on the panel here. I think this has already been answered, but His Excellency, I would like to again ask this question. We've got Mr. Mohammed Jamal from Pakistan. He's asking, can the citizenship be extended to my brother and sister?
Yes, a citizen, you could add your siblings, as we amended that about 2 weeks ago. You could add your brother or sister once they are 25 years or younger, unmarried, and no children. If your brother or your sister is under 18, that is that they are minor, the fee for that is $25,000. If they are an adult that's 18 to 25, then it would be $50,000. So the simple answer to that is yes. Somebody also asked about the passport renewal. We have opened and continue to provide more diplomatic and consular services to our citizens around the world. And we have now an embassy in the UAE. You could apply for your renewal of your passport right there. So that is answered in the provision of more consular and diplomatic services through offices the world over. So we're trying to ensure that we provide services to our citizens through opening up of government offices to facilitate our citizens wherever they are.
Thank you, His Excellency. We've got Mr. Makram from Lebanon. He's asking, how long does it generally take to get the passport?
Generally speaking, our program is done within 90 days. So we give you approval. Once you make the payments, the funds go to the bank and accredit our account. Then the processes go on to the certificate of naturalization, and your passport is done. So generally speaking, about 90 days that will be done.
Thank you, His Excellency. I think this question I would direct it to Mr. Farooq. There are two questions. I think I should ask them together. We've got a question from Mr. Feroz from Afghanistan. He's asking, do you process applications in Dubai or in Dominica? And we've got Mr. Anil Sharma asking us, how confidential is our application with AAA?
All the application are, it's a combination of your offshore and onshore activities. So the answer is, literal answer is yes, applications are processed in Dominica, but majority of the file building takes place in your local city. So if you're a client of Dubai, the application will be built in Dubai, shipped out to our Dominican office, and they are going to follow with the Citizenship investment unit in Dominica. We're dealing with very critical matter here. There is a lot of confidential data we're dealing with, and all the steps are taken where the confidentiality of client is maintained, and one can be rest assured that none of your information can be leaked or shared.
Thank you, Mr. Farooq. Again, I would like to direct the next question to His Excellency. We've got a question that says, are there any chances of citizenship withdrawal for any reason?
If proven that you are provided in your application, then that's grounds for revoking your citizenship. Otherwise, we don't do that. So really, once you're honest and you provide accurate information, that's okay.
You may have to repeat, His Excellency, because the line went choppy.
Okay. I was saying, if it's proven that you lied or provided false information that was not detected in your application, that is grounds for withdrawing your citizenship. Otherwise, the answer to that is no. So once you provide accurate information, you did not misrepresent the facts at all, then we will not deny or withdraw the citizenship once it's granted.
So I'm a clean person. I did right representation. I got nothing to fear that tomorrow, if I'm involved into a minor crime anywhere else, this will affect revocation of my citizenship. It will have no impact, right?
Exactly. Once you did what is required, you're upright business person. You apply, we approve your application, then that's fine. Sometimes we may fall inside the road. We are not perfect. We are all human. That's okay. A citizen of any country can go through a bad period. But once you did not misrepresent the facts in your application, then that's okay. No issue with that.
Thank you, His Excellency and Mr. Farooq. We've got a lot of questions about the cost of the citizenship and the process. Well, I would recommend, once again, that you leave your contact details. We'll get in touch with you because the costs obviously would depend upon the kind of the application and the number of people in the application. So those questions can be asked to us directly. You can get in touch with us or give us your contact details, and we would answer your queries. We got again another question, and I think once again, Mr. Farooq did explain about this. It talks about the worldwide recognition, and the question says, how can you guarantee that Dominica will remain a part of Commonwealth countries and will remain a recognized country in the UN?
The Brexit guarantee, which I read that question. Okay, basically, look, Brexit kind of events, nobody can guarantee. No politician of the world can give you assurance. It goes likewise for any country, right? So obviously there are no guarantees. Let's go with the track record. The track record is this passport, this Citizenship by Investment program was initiated in 1989. From that time till date, what is it, 31 years? How many countries has Dominica got visa waiver for? I haven't done the right count, but 40, 50 countries has been added from that time. The whole European Schengen zone has been added. And just recently, 4 countries have been added in the span of 2-3 years. So we need to worry, we need to be negative, but let's look at the trend. The trend is upward. There are more and more countries who are giving a visa waiver program. Now, why don't, for a minute, let's become an immigration officer across the counter at the Heathrow airport, for sake of discussion. When a Syrian, Iraqi, Pakistani, Indian, whatever comes through with a visit visa, he's just been screened with his paperwork. But when the same guy comes with the Dominican passport, he's been vetted heavily. There's no comparison between the two vetting because that's just a visit visa application. The concern of the visa officer when you apply for visit visa is, will this person come back or not, right? What kind of involvement he has with his country, that is the only risk assessment they're doing. But somebody who's gone through the program is getting vetted heavily. And that's the reason you pay $7,500 as a due diligence fee because you're vetted heavily. So that's the thing. So we don't expect any Dominica to lose any countries. The trend is upward, and Brexit kind of guarantees, obviously they can't be. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Farooq. Once again, I have 2 questions which I think I would like to ask together. The question is that if I want to set up McDonald's, Pizza Hut, do your banks support international investors? Then it also asks about, will we get medical insurance from Dominica even if we don't live there, and international medical insurance? I got another question which I think is in the similar line. It talks about social benefits if somebody decides, once he takes the citizenship and decides to make Dominica their permanent home.
Yes, in Dominica, of course, we are a democratic country. There's the government and there's private sector. So really and truly, if someone wants to invest in Dominica, and he or she can come into Dominica and can invest. The government will actually grant out, they could request and grant duty-free or tax-free waivers from the government for up to 20-25 years. And the government can consider, most times would grant tax-free waivers for new investments or for new business development that would add to the country. So if you want to come in and add and invest, sure. The banks themselves are interested in and keen in getting people to invest in the country. In fact, not too long I had a call from the bank. The National Bank asked me to recommend some citizens to open bank accounts with them in Dominica. So the simple answer to that is yes. And then I will go further and say that the government will even consider granting of tax waivers, concessions to investors who want to invest in private sector development. In terms of insurance, there are private insurance companies in Dominica that one could take insurances from, but the government don't own the insurances themselves, so you would have to have that discussion with a private insurance firm. What we do in Dominica as a country, if you're living in Dominica, you're Dominican living in Dominica, we have a healthcare system that has been built by the government to meet the needs of the citizens of Dominica. Today, as we speak, we're building two brand new hospitals. One of them is the Margaret Hospital, which has been funded by investments from the government of Dominica through the Citizenship Investment Program. And we have the government Dominica China Friendship Hospital, where we're building a brand new state-of-the-art hospital, been sponsored by the government of China, with all the new equipment that are required for a modern hospital. And we're providing a number of specialists in every field. So at present, we have 25 doctors being trained. Some of them are already back to work at the hospital in all different specialties, so that we can have top-class, high-class healthcare right here in Dominica. As part of our healthcare system as well, we're currently building 14 health centers in different regions of the country. We're a small island, just 300 square miles. The population of 75,000 residents in Dominica. But we're building 14 facilities around the island to ensure that healthcare can be available for citizens in every aspect and every area, every corner, every nook or every cranny of the country. Healthcare is important to us. Also on the healthcare, if you're in Dominica, healthcare treatment you receive at a government facility is free of charge. So for any child who requires healthcare in Dominica is free of charge. If you're adult, a senior citizen, 60 years and older, living in Dominica, you seek healthcare services at the government facilities, that too is free of charge. So for us, the health of a nation is often said to be the wealth of the nation. In Dominica, we acknowledge that. And we're investing in healthcare to ensure that we do well in health. That's why we are, by the World Health Organization, in the treatment of our COVID situation. We continue to do the best that we can to provide our country, our citizens with the things that they require. We live in a hurricane zone. The government's currently building 5,000 hurricane resilient homes that we give free of charge to the citizens of Dominica, to the less fortunate, because we believe that the more vulnerable among us need to be taken care of. And as we ensure that we take care of those who are those who are more vulnerable among us. That's who we are as a country. Health, education, housing are paramount pillars of our country that we develop. So we use the resources that we get to the program to take care of those areas. So you could come into Dominica to invest. The bank will accept your funds. You could seek government incentives in terms of tax concessions for investing in Dominica. You could do McDonald's, you could do Pizza Hut, you could do bottled watering, you could do manufacturing, agro-processing, agriculture, whatever it is. We could assist you in those as well. We'll negotiate with you to help you and provide incentives for any of your investments, and we try to provide the best healthcare that we possibly can provide, given the fact that we're a small country that's developing. But we do it, and we live, we are currently one of the countries in the world with the highest centenarians per capita. People who live in over 100 or more per capita, we are doing those right here. We are among the best in the world right here in Dominica because of the clean air, the fresh water that we breathe, and the health system that we have here in Dominica. Thank you.
Thank you, His Excellency. And I hope that answers Mr. Sakib-Dinas's question. We look forward to welcome Mr. Sakib-Dinas in Dominica very soon. We've got a question from Miss Nikki from Dubai. And once again, I think I'll direct this question to Mr. Farooq, and I'll combine two questions again. How easy is it to get a US or a Canada visa on a Dominican passport? And we've got another gentleman, he's asked about opening a bank account using Dominican passports? How easy is it, and can it be done worldwide?
Well, it's just like any other citizenship. So you want to open a bank account, you want to travel, you want to open companies, absolutely no problem. So Dominica does not have its relationship, the government-to-government relationship does not have any problems. So they're not part of any embargo. So it's fairly easy for opening bank accounts with a Dominican passport and fairly acceptable. The second question was the US and Canada visa. See, this is what I keep stressing time and again. When a visit at the embassy, the officer reviews your application, and your application is from 20, 30 different countries. He or she needs to evaluate the chances of you coming back to your home country. So if it's a case officer at the US Embassy, UK Embassy, they look at the value of your passports, your risk score, and then they make a decision based at plus your net worth and things like that. Chances are somebody with high net worth, because I don't want to name the countries, but because your country happens to be high risk and chances of coming back is not there, they reject the application. But if you're holding a strong passport like a Dominica with 132 visa waivers, you could go to UK, you could go to France, you could go to Germany, you could go to lots of Far Eastern countries, so on and so forth. It's a long list, right? Why would this is not going to cross the immigration officer's mind in Canadian embassy or American embassy that I need to, will this guy come back or not? If he had to stay illegal, he could have done same thing in UK. He could have done it in France, Germany, Amsterdam, Switzerland. The list goes on and on, right? So we have seen a very high success rate, and most of the applicants get a straight away 10 years visit visa with the US. So we have seen customers getting the visit visa for US, Canada fairly easy.
Thank you, Farooq. We've got another question from Ms. Runam in Dubai. She's asking, when we do the citizenship application, do we make payments to AAA or to government directly? I think Mr. Farooq can again answer that.
His Excellency can answer that better, I think. In my opinion, they should hear from them.
The question is, Excellency, is does the client make payments directly to government or to AAA?
Once we grant citizenship, we issue a comfort letter, and the funds are paid into the government account. If you invest in a real estate, then the escrow accounts that we would give you, and the developers themselves would be signatory to that account, but the government is also signatory to that account. So it could be done in either way. It could be to the government account, or for real estate, it would be in an escrow account jointly between the government and the developer.
Thank you, His Excellency.
However, Jehan, I would like to add, however, because we are a full agent in Dominica, we can also handle clients' fund. But these kind of requests come from non-UAE residents, you know, somebody sitting in India, Pakistan, controlled region, you know, that they would use our services in transferring these funds, because some countries have a restriction on sending foreign exchange, just for that reason. But if the client has foreign exchange sitting in Dubai, they can transfer it directly or via registered agent.
Thank you, Mr. Farooq, and I hope that answers the question. A client is asking us about which route to take. Should we go with a donation or with investment? I think Mr. Farooq, we have an experienced businessman here. I think he would perhaps give us more insight.
It's an Arab asking this question, or a Indian Pakistani asking this question?
Well, we've actually got two questions. One, it's like an Arabic name. The gentleman has not mentioned.
Yeah. So as much as I try to explain, majority of my Arabic clients prefer the cheapest option and donation, right? I'm not a big fan of donation. I'm obviously fan of investment because you have your money, you have your investment, which you can sell it after 5 years, and you can pass it on to someone in the family, sell it to your friend, and so on and so forth. But majority of it looks like personal behavior. It's 60%, 70% of the Arabs prefer the donation. That works very well. And 90% of Indian Pakistanis take the investment route. So that works fine. At the end of the day, end product is a passport, and the result is exactly same. There's no 2 weeks difference or a month difference, in my opinion. What do you say, His Excellency?
I fully agree. So really, it is the choice of the applicant. The forms that we require are basically the same. The time frame is the same. If you make a donation application, then that application will be, the funds will be given to the government of Dominica for use of national development. If you make a real estate investment, you could sell your investment and recoup your funds after 3 or 5 years. So the choice really and truly is yours. You'll pay a bit more initially, but at the back end, you would be able to receive your funds by selling them to somebody else. And I'm quite sure you will be able to, because our numbers are continue to increase year upon year. So you should not have a difficulty in doing that.
Thank you, His Excellency. I have a question from Mr. Amir, and the question is, how can I make sure that my investment value is real? I think I'll direct that question first to Mr. Farooq.
How the investment value is
Real.
Real.
Yeah.
So is he talking about donation? Donation is passed in Parliament.
I think the question just talks about investment. I assume this is about investing into an 𝐂𝐤𝐿𝐺 resort.
Okay. So you have very few government-approved projects, and these are on the website. So an 𝐂𝐤𝐿𝐺 resort is part of them, and we are the exclusive agent for an 𝐂𝐤𝐿𝐺 resort for 6 different countries. And the resort is at advanced stage. It's at a beautiful location. It's a Marriott product. So I don't understand the word real. What is it being referred to? If it's being referred to the value, obviously the government plays a role there. They look at the feasibility of the project. They approve the project. It is to play a role in tourism industry for the future. A, it's bringing jobs to the island. B, it's bringing a big name attached with hospitality to the island. And once the project is delivered, once the construction people go out, the hospitality job continues. So it's a long-term job generation project, which government carefully approves. Also, the number of shares are done. It's not a number which developer decides on his own. So the number is carefully agreed, negotiated based on the valuation. So that's how it is done. And there's a 4% rental guarantee in any case. So it's a good, your investment is pegged to dollar. You have a 4% straight run. You're associated with a 5-star hotel. You're a proud owner of Marriott property here.
Thank you. We have a similar question. I think the question is answered. We have Ms. Sabah Fatima asking us, what's the investment and we're investing? I think you have the answer there. It is the 𝐂𝐤𝐿𝐺 resort. And once again, for more details, we're always there to give you as much information as you want. I'm getting questions and a lot of questions asking about the price and the workflow. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I would request you to leave your contact details, because the prices would depend on the kind of investment you'd like to make, the route that you'd like to take, and the number of applicants. So we'll be answering those questions.
I would like to add to that. We would like to deal with generic questions here, and specific. Every family size is different. Because every family size is different, the total package differs. So if it's single person, the donation would be $100,000. It's a family of 4, it would be 175, so on and so forth. So to keep it specific, you can contact your consultant, and they will issue you a specific quote.
We've got another question from Mr. Muhammad Atif, and he's asking, is it true China is on arrival on Dominica passport? Because Minister mentioned in a previous meeting, I think there is referring to Prime Minister's seminar that we had the last time, and he did mention about China, and His Excellency today spoke about it. But I would again like to ask His Excellency to give us some more information about the deal that's happening with China.
I mentioned that the government of Dominica and the government of China have signed a visa-free entry for all Dominican passports. That has already been signed. There will be an effective date that has not yet been announced by the government. That is expected to be announced within the next few days or a week or two. We're expecting to have an announcement on the effective date, but the agreements have already been signed by both governments. Both Dominica and China have already signed, offering or accepting visa-free travel between both countries for every passport, every Dominican passport and Chinese passport, yes. So it is true. The effective date has not yet been announced, so just stay tuned. It will be announced very shortly.
Thank you, His Excellency. We've got a question from Mr. Al-Sabag, and I think I would like to ask this to both His Excellency and Mr. Farooq. Given that a lot of Caribbean islands are offering similar citizenship programs, can you advise on why should we choose Dominica over others, you know, with a few highlights?
That question is for me.
I think I would like to hear an answer from you as well as His Excellency.
Okay. His Excellency should answer that because we are providing all the programs. Today's focus is on Dominica. So I think let His Excellency respond to this.
Yes, in Dominica, in the Caribbean, we are basically part and parcel of the same family. So we have the Caribbean community of which we are one parcel. So if you get a Caribbean passport, you could move and work in any country. So Dominican passport can work in Barbados and Grenada, Antigua, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, and vice versa. So really and truly, the passport offers you almost identical services in terms of working and moving within the CARICOM community. In Dominica, we pride ourselves of being one of the longest programs in the International Immigration Service. We are second only to St. Kitts in terms of how long we have been operating. So we have that advantage. We have known and worked along the line for a while. Our prices are very steady. We have never reduced on our prices at all. We continue to maintain a respectable program. We continue to offer high-end investment opportunities. So in some countries, you may have 70, 80, or 100 projects for investments. In Dominica, we keep our investments limited to a handful. So it gives each project an opportunity to have a rapid transfusion injection of funds, and the chances of this succeeding are much higher than anywhere else. Because we are not just the #1 program as ranked by the Financial Times of London. In terms of our volumes, we're also #1. But if we limit the number of projects you could invest in, it means that each project can get enough funds to complete within a record time. And that's what's happening with our investments in our real estate projects in Dominica. They're all under construction, all operating very nicely. We have a few of them already open. So you have Kempinski already open, Jungle Bay open, Tranquility is doing very well as Anichia. Sacred Bay are already open. So we continue to offer limited, high-class, high-end values that you know and move on with. And in terms of transparency, we are a very transparent program. We had a recent audit done by Coopers and Library of London, published in the Financial Times of London, showing how well the funds are utilized in Dominica and the impact of the program on the people of Dominica. We make all these things available to people. So we consider ourselves with our history, with our longevity, with our speed in processing, in how open we are in terms of reporting on what we do, the funds that we get, and how they utilize for national development. So by and large, we are very similar. In Dominica, we offered you an opportunity, and we respect your investments. We don't play any other country program at all. We are all brothers and your sisters in this thing. We share the same currency. We all have the same central bank, or Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. We all have the same Eastern Caribbean dollar that we all use. You could move into Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenada with any ID card, national ID card. We don't even use passports within those countries. That's who we are. But I am offering you the opportunity to invest in Dominica based on the fact that we have been ranked very highly, ranked as the best in the world. Based on the fact that we have been there for a long time. based on the fact that the threshold of investment is steady, and the quality of projects we're asking you to invest in are well-known. Projects that you know, projects like 𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐢𝐳𝐞𝐢𝐻, Marriott Autograph Collection. We had Kempinski that was recently sold out. We had Hilton that's been built. So these are projects that you know, and we invite you to invest in those. The other projects, programs are very, very good programs. I'm very proud of my brothers and sisters and what they do in the various countries. We are together, brothers and sisters, a family working together. Thank you very much.
His Excellency, that was amazing because it was a very tricky question for me also to distinguish between the several Caribbean islands. And I'm glad you have said that it's by large, it's more or less similar. But one thing which I would like to add here is the consistency of processing those applications in 60 to 90 days. As per my personal experience, that's where Dominica becomes my personal favorite, because years after years, months after months, we have seen this program. Sometimes, yes, different things happen, the volume may shoot up, which we are experiencing right now. So 60 days can become 120 days, but it cannot become 1 year, which we have experienced in other jurisdictions. So that way, that is a big plus Dominica has, but otherwise, it's very difficult to say this is better, that's better, because they all are offering very similar product. So you have to go at the customer service, which is the execution and delivery, and certainly wherever you're getting a better investment product. Yes, yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, we have some questions in Arabic as well. Let me just bring them up. I'll have my colleague answer the questions in Arabic. I think we'll take one more question, and after that we can take a couple of questions in Arabic. Just 1 second here. We've got a question. So this will be an English question, and after this we can take Arabic questions. This is a question that's directed to Mr. Farooq, asking about AAA success rate. What is your success rate?
The success rate we have experienced is 98% plus, and I think His Excellency also confirmed at last webinar that they have a 5%, under 5% rejection rate. So 98% of applicants get through. There is a bit of due diligence at the time of pre-sale, so we do not take the clients whom we don't feel they're going to be successful. But as an agent, there's a limited due diligence we can conduct. That is the reason you're paying $7,500 to the government to engage with the due diligence company who's going to do a detailed due diligence with you. But so far, alhamdulillah, we're operating at 98% success rate.
Thank you, Mr. Farooq. We have questions pouring in, one after another. But I think these will be the last 2 questions that we'll take. And yes, these are Arabic questions. We've got my colleague with us. She will take the Arabic questions and then she'll translate them into English.
Hi,
hello, everyone. His Excellency, this is question from Mr. Mohammed Abdullah. He's from Qatar and his wife from UAE. He wants to apply for his son for Dominican passport because he couldn't renew his Qatari passport now. Okay. And we want to ask if it can be done.
Yes, it can be done. It can be done. We have had quite a few of those. It can be done. Accepted.
Okay. The second one, they ask, and you already answered this question, but they ask if can Dominican passport pass to the next generation.
And the answer is yes. Once you're a Dominican citizen, any child you have after becoming a citizen would themselves qualify to be citizens of Dominica. We only charge a processing fee of $500 for children who are born after you're a citizen, and they too can pass on to the. So the short answer is yes, it can pass on from generation to generation. Once you're a citizen, you could get citizenship through inheritance. Yeah.
NG, I assume you wanted to translate in Arabic.
Yeah.
You could do so, please.
Go ahead.
Yes, please. Yeah. For the first question, السؤال الأول سيد محمد عبد الله تم السؤال وتم الإجابة إنه إحنا إن شاء الله ممكن نقدم الابلكيشن تبع ابنه وبيمشي الحال فيه. السؤال الثاني طبعا هو بيتورث للأجيال القادمة ومفيش أي مشكلة فيه. خصوصية زي ما تم الإجابة عليه إن خصوصية الدولة
Thank you very much, Angie.
Thanks a lot.
Once again, His Excellency, thank you very much for your time today. Mr. Farooq, thank you for your time. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, we could not answer all the questions, but we are here. You can get in touch with us. You can look at our website. You can send us questions. We'll still be taking questions, and we'll try to answer questions to you privately as much as we can. And some have left. Some people have left their phone numbers and email addresses with us. We'll get back to you very soon with all the answers that you have. And once again, everyone, for joining us in this event today. We hope to see you very soon with another event. Thank you and good night in the UAE, and a good afternoon once again in the Americas.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, always. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jeremy.